Powered by the Montana Television Network. This is the Noon News from Montana's news leader.
Good afternoon, and thanks so much for joining us today. I'm Aja Goare. Our top story this half hour, President Trump is hoping to achieve his first major legislative accomplishment with tax reform. The president will make a push in 13 states over the next 7 weeks, including a stop in Montana. As CBS's Aja Goare reports, the president has been inviting bipartisan groups of lawmakers to the White House to discuss the issue.
President Trump is shifting into deal-maker mode to get tax reform passed. He tweeted this morning, the approval process for the biggest tax cut and tax reform package in the history of our country will soon begin. Move fast, Congress.
I think they're very aggressive on this. They want it done. They want it in a bipartisan way. I thought it was very good for them to reach out to us.
West Virginia Democrat Joe Manchin was one of 6 senators who had dinner with the president at the White House last night to talk about the tax system.
We talked about everything in depth to where they're willing to say, okay, let's look at this, how we make this work. But I thought it was very engaging. I enjoyed it.
The bipartisan congressional outreach continues today when 8 Democratic and 5 Republican House members visit the White House. But despite the bipartisan appeal, Republicans are writing the bill.
We want to work with you, but we want to do tax cuts for the middle class, not for the wealthy.
And Speaker of the House Paul Ryan says he doesn't need Democratic support.
I would love to have the Democrats supporting and working with us in a constructive way on tax reform, but we're going to do it no matter what.
Republicans say they will release the framework of their tax reform proposal on September 25th. Aja Goare, CBS News, the White House.
As we mentioned, President Trump is expected to take his push for tax reform to Montana. A report from Bloomberg says the president wants to visit states he won, where a Democratic senator is up for re-election next year. Trump won Montana by 20 points, and Democratic Senator Jon Tester is up for re-election next year. No timetable for the president's trips were announced. Utility crews are working around the clock in Florida to restore power in the wake of Tropical Storm Irma. More than 4 million homes and businesses are in the dark across the state, and officials say it will take more than a week to restore all power. Some people in the hard-hit Florida Keys are returning home to begin cleanup. FEMA estimates a quarter of the homes in the Keys were destroyed and 2/3 experienced major damage. President Trump will visit the state tomorrow. Here in Montana, the Rice Ridge fire burning near Seeley Lake blew up overnight, chewing through another 16,000 acres. Mandatory evacuations in Missoula County were just lifted Tuesday. The fire is now 156,000 acres with 38% containment. Strong winds and critically low fuel moistures will lead to active burning today. A public meeting is set for 6 o'clock tonight at Ovando Elementary School. And the Alice Creek fire burning near Augusta is now about 29,000 acres. The fire is active in the immediate area of Highway 200, which does remain open. Motorists should expect very smoky driving conditions. Mandatory evacuations remain in effect for residents along Highway 200 on both sides of the road. Elk Meadows Evergreen subdivisions are also under mandatory evacuation. That fire is just 10% contained. The Blacktail fire north of Livingston blackens 500 acres as firefighters struggle with windy, dry conditions. Smoke jumpers and a helicopter are available for aid, but fire officials said they'll only engage once it's safe. As of now, no structures are threatened. Firefighting efforts at the Strawberry Fire in Pend Oreille County will receive a boost from FEMA disaster funds. Governor Bullock and Senator Tester made the announcement Tuesday. That lightning-sparked fire is burning 10,500 acres in the Bob Marshall Wilderness. Evacuations are in effect for residents in Dam Keeper and the 5 ranches in the Swift Reservoir area. And just a reminder that Montana Television Network and our parent company, Cordillera Communications, is raising money for Montana wildfire relief. The fund received 40 donations overnight into this morning. We will match the first $50,000 raised. Find out how to donate on your local MTN website. We turn now to the weather scene with Ed McIntosh. And Ed, the state is all in the same boat when it comes to air quality today.
That's right. Everybody's got the smoke, even though most of the fires are in the western portion of the state, as the upper level winds aren't helping things out across the eastern plains. So air quality issues have really developed all across eastern Montana. In fact, there's some areas in the west that actually have a little better air quality scattered across the region today. things clearing out a little bit on Cutbank and Great Falls, but unhealthy air quality through southern Montana. And for that reason, the Department of Environmental Quality has issued an air quality warning for the entire state of Montana that's right now scheduled to persist until 9 a.m. tomorrow, when they'll take another look at it. In the meantime, there could be some relief. We'll talk about how the weather could change this picture in just a few minutes.
Thanks, Ed. We'll want to check back in. A Lolo man is dead after he backed an Audi A4 off a cliff near Clinton this morning. The vehicle was traveling on a U.S. Forest Service road near Schwartz Creek Road. Montana Highway Patrol reports the driver was not wearing a seatbelt when the vehicle backed off the cliff and tumbled down a steep mountain. The 44-year-old male passenger, who was wearing a seatbelt, was transported to the hospital. Alcohol and drugs are suspected factors in this crash. The incident remains under investigation. The Valley County Undersheriff is recovering after he was beaten in the head with a metal pipe. That beating resulted in attempted murder charges against 20-year-old Tanner Cook, who also faces 3 counts of assault. The sheriff tells us a deputy was called to a trailer park on Friday for a domestic disturbance in Glasgow. Cook came out and allegedly hit the patrol car with the pipe. When the undersheriff arrived as backup, Cook allegedly assaulted the officer with the pipe. Cook was eventually subdued with a taser. He's being held on $500,000 bond. The undersheriff was treated for a head wound and is still on medical leave today. The names of the burglary suspect killed by a Great Falls police officer and the name of the officer involved are still being withheld today. Investigators combed the scene on 3100 block of 9th Avenue North, where the officer shot the burglary suspect late Monday. Friends and family of the person killed are leaving candles, flowers, and other mementos on the sidewalk at that scene. The officer fatally shot the suspect during a foot chase when the suspect reportedly brandished a gun. Coroner's inquest will be scheduled by the Fergus County coroner. Montana's former Republican House Majority Leader Michael Lang admits he sold methamphetamine. 56-year-old Lang pleaded guilty in U.S. District Court in Billings Tuesday to 1 count each of possession of meth and conspiring to distribute the drug. There is no plea agreement in the case. Each charge carries a mandatory minimum of 10 years in prison. During a 2016 drug bust in Wyoming, federal agents also learned that Lang was the major distributor for some smaller dealers. Nearly 3 pounds of meth was found in Lang's home, along with 1 pound of cocaine and $27,000 in cash. Lang told investigators he bought at least 20 pounds of meth to Montana. After serving for 5 years, Lang was booted from the state legislature in 2007 following a profanity-laced outburst against Governor Brian Schweitzer. A sentencing date has yet to be set. Less than 4 months after Greg Gianforte won Montana's congressional seat, the Bozeman businessman has a new challenger for 2018. Grant Keir, former director for Montana Land Trust, is throwing his hat into the congressional ring as a Democrat. He made the announcement before a crowd of about 100 supporters on Tuesday. Keir says he hopes to put aside party line squabbling if sent to Washington. He says right now, partisan divide is hurting the country. Bozeman city leaders are halting any new Airbnb-style rental properties where the owner doesn't live there full-time. That new short-term rental ordinance was adopted at a city commission meeting this week. The ordinance created 3 types of rentals: a rental property occupied by its owner year-round, a rental occupied by its owner most of the year, and a rental owned just for rent. The commission voted not to allow any more rentals that are owned just to rent. That means people hoping to start using the service Airbnb, which allows you to rent your property like a hotel room, must live there at least part of the year. New short-term rental properties must be documented by the city and inspected. Still to come on the Noon News, Tropical Storm Irma left dozens dead, but several victims are under one roof in Florida. We'll explain. First, Ed has our weather forecast. Stay with us.
You're watching